welcome back to the channel. It's been a couple of years since I've uploaded anything. Last time I uploaded I think was during lockdown in 2020. Been a couple of changes since then. I've moved country. I'm no longer in New Zealand. I'm now living in Melbourne, Australia. Moved over here. I've left the Chaser back home in New Zealand, don't worry, that I still own that.
I didn't really go into detail about it, but I do still own the Chaser. It is now finished since the last video I made. It made all the power I wanted it to. You can see the rest of the build updates on my Instagram, which I'll link. But enjoy a couple of recent photos and video clips of it, because I forgot to mention them.
But I got myself a new project. You move country, you got to have something to work on, right? And those of you that follow me on Instagram, those of you that know me for a while, know that I used to have a little Honda Civic EK hatchback with a B18 in it. And ever since I sold that car, I've wanted another Honda. So moved over here, decided I needed to get myself a project, and that's what I've got right here. This would be a B18 EG Civic. It's an EG5, so it's got the sunroof. It's had a few little bits done to it. It's had a couple of owners, but it's had some good parts put in it over its lifetime. It looks like absolute garbage right now, but we're going to work on that. I've got a lot of stuff that I'd like to get done on it. It's all going to be DIY, so I'm going to do a lot of little episodes here and there of, you know, all the stuff I do to it. Learn everything along the way. I'm by no means a qualified mechanic, panel beater, welder, anything like that, but everything that I do on my cars I like to learn. If I don't know how to do it, I'll teach myself how. So this is going to be a whole learning experience. I'm going to try and document as much of it as possible on camera, for a bit of viewing pleasure, that kind of thing. So if there's anyone out there who likes the content, anyone who wants to see more of it, anyone who wants to teach me how to do stuff, cool. But yeah, let's go around the car. I don't really know what else to say.
So yeah, this is the beast. Ignore the fact that the rear window's missing. It is in here. It is just there. But I've already done a wee bit of work to it off camera. So when I picked it up, the front brakes weren't working. I was told by the previous owner that the calipers were leaking. Spent all day replacing the calipers and everything, bleeding the system, to then find out, hey, the car's not bleeding the brakes properly, and it turned out to be a split brake hose. So it was not the calipers, it was a split hose, so they're now done. And the other thing I had to do was there was a little bit of rust that was developing just on the seam right here. Went through, stripped all that back, and then rust treated it. It hadn't spread very far, it was just on the surface. So tidied all that up, and then just gave it a quick coat of paint as well. So all the way around there is looking all nice. New seam sealer and everything, new paint, and that's all sealed up. So no rust there. Like I mentioned before, this one has had a B series swap in it. So factory, this was a D16, I think. So obviously single cam, 1.6. It's had a B18C2 swapped into it, which, for those of you who are not familiar with the Australian and New Zealand market, Honda motors and stuff like that and models, this came out of an Integra VTIR, which is sort of like a step below a DC2 Type R. Also got an S80 LSD gearbox. See if it'll focus in there. Yep, S80 is an LSD box, which is really, really good. I believe it's got the short ratios. I did one small drive in it. The ratios felt very, very short. We've got a Skunk 2 Pro Series intake manifold, Skunk 2 throttle body. You can see the exhaust manifold is not actually attached right now because the one that came on the car had these nice aftermarket headers, which have seen better days. They've obviously been on the car when it's been a little bit too low. Already had a couple little patches, but that's not really the main reason I took them off. The main reason I took them off, so I can go through here, was because, don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but they're a little bit warped. So that was causing a major exhaust leak. As you can see there might be a little bit of exhaust gas coming out this little gap here. So had to pull those off. Picked up this set of factory B series headers off Marketplace for like 50 bucks. Couple other little cool things I've noticed. It's got adjustable cam gears in there. So I don't know a whole bunch about, you know, this car in particular and who built it. So if you recognise this car and you've put some work into it, please let me know. Just pull this off. The previous owner said that he didn't do the engine swap, so we don't know how many Ks are on the motor, but it drives really well, VTEC's really well. There was a couple of little oil seepage marks along the front here, but I've cleaned all that up. But like underneath here, it looks really, really tidy, so I'm very, very happy about that. Like I said, adjustable cam gears. I'm not sure what brand these are, so if you're a bit of a knowledgeable person on Honda stuff, I'd love to know. Other cool notable things, we've got a spoon strut brace, we've got spoon coilovers as well. The fronts are installed currently. You can see it's a little bit lower than the rear. The rear's just running some shortened shocks and lowering springs, so not a crazy track setup there. I'm kind of thinking about ditching the spoon coilovers because they're not height adjustable. Just prefer to have a decent shock and spring setup in there for now, just for the meantime, just so I can get it running and everything. There's a couple little oil leaks I've got to sort out down in there. Moving to the inside. Yes, I know I'm missing a trim there. Trying to get parts for these things, I've found out, is not always that easy. Inside is pretty straightforward. Nothing crazy here. It's just a dashboard. 357,000 Ks on the chassis. So, great little car. It's obviously done well so far. With a nice Momo replica steering wheel. I think it's just a cheap wheel with just a Momo centre bit there. The horn button. But yeah, like I said, 5-speed, S80 gearbox, LSD. And it's got a sunroof because sunroof cars are just superior. It doesn't work like the motor works, but it doesn't lift up. So I'm going to have to pull that apart at some point, figure out why that's not working. So stay tuned for a future episode on that one. That'll be a whole episode in itself, probably just pulling the roof out. But yeah, this will probably be the project for today, is getting the rear glass back on here, the hatch glass, because at the moment it just looks really ugly and it makes me sad looking at the car like this and seeing it, you know, without its rear window, which I still have. I just need to put back in because obviously I took it all out to do all the rust repairs and everything in here. So I'm going to set up the camera and start putting it back on. This is an extremely expensive piece of Honda Civic right here. An unbroken rear window hatch glass for an EG Civic. I'm going to try my best to not damage anything and or drop it, because that would make me really, really upset. And now I've got to remember how I put it back on, because I took it off probably over a month ago now. Woo. Woohoo. So that's the glass back in place, and just get the spoiler and all the wiring and everything through. Woo. If you're ever going to take something apart on your car, try and put it back together in a short time frame, because otherwise you just forget where the hell everything goes. Prime example right now, I know this is the spoiler, I know it goes here, but the nuts, the bolts, everything else, wiring, vehicles. Normally I wouldn't recommend doing this. I don't have the gas struts that hold up the hatch, so I don't really have much choice right now. So I'm just going to try and, obviously this needs to go back through here, clip into this wiring loom. On this side, same sort of thing, just got to push things where they need to go. The rear windscreen washer jet needs to hook up to that. So if anyone knows where to get like brand new or, you know, aftermarket ones of these that'll fit, that'll be good. Yeah. Now this is where stuff gets really fun, because obviously these wiring looms need to go up and tuck up in here, but I need to feed these plugs right here back through this little hole because it all clips up underneath this top bit of the frame here. So I've got to like get my fingers way up underneath there, try to clip them in to the appropriate spots, because otherwise the roof lining doesn't sit up nice and flush. So got that all sorted, so I'll see if I can show it. But essentially, when you pass this loom through here, so I can unclip this, there's like 2 layers of metal there. It's hard to see, but there's 2 bits there. You've got to feed the wires between the 2 bits of metal. And then, see here, that's the second bit of metal. So instead of feeding it through both, you feed it through just the top one, through there, and then the rest of the loom joins up there, like a wee notch in the roof there for it to pass through, and it'll basically just push up into place when I've got this side done as well, and then this trim piece will just go back up into place. Right, so got this one back through. That was pretty easy. It just literally, I didn't have to do much to that one when I took it out. So just put it through there, and now I've just got to connect this bit up. Now it doesn't go through that way, it actually goes on the top and comes back through, because you've got this bit here, which is for your rear demister, and then this one basically stays on the outside to plug into your high stop light. So see if I can sort of do this one-handed without breaking anything. Swing that down. Hello. There we go. Let's not click it down fully. This is weird. Hello. There we go. So that's clipped back through. So now I'm going to spin this back up. Very carefully, don't break anything. And then that piece there just clicks on there, nice little click. So now my rear demister probably won't work anyway because it's an old Honda.
It's a Honda thing right now.
So now that we've got that pushed through and into place, start working on the spoiler. Can't forget this bit, obviously. That just goes on that little bit there. I think there's a couple of screws somewhere for that. I don't know where those little screws have gone. They're probably somewhere in here. Yeah, I'm going to find those screws. You know what one of my favourite parts about buying Hondas off marketplaces? You get to see some of the incredible ingenuity and creativity that young car enthusiasts without a lot of money can pull together. You know, like wood screws to hold the amplifier into the back of a rear seat. But only 3 of them. I'm sure I left the screws in the middle of the boot because there was nothing there. And, well, ain't no screws in here, boy. That's right. Yep, so after a little distraction, I found a screw. It's holding that bit in place the way it should be. So I'm going to get this finished off now. That closes. And so is that. That has not been closed for probably about a month. Last time this hatch was on here, there was a little bit of rust up here. Now it's gone. Woo! Panel gap could probably be a little bit better, but I mean, hey, it's an EG Civic. It's not going to be going out to win any awards with 350,000 Ks on it. But I am more than stoked for a home job. I know I didn't document any of that rust process, but I'm still stoked to have it all done. That makes me feel so good, seeing the back of that car back together again. So stoked. It's the little things. Not all of us can, you know, hire a bunch of people to build a car for us in 2 weeks. Some of us take 4 weeks to put a bit of glass on a car. Fantastic. That'll probably do it for today, to be honest. Don't know what I'm going to do next. Guess we'll figure that out. So yeah, that'll do it for today's video. Thanks for sticking around if you've made it this far. Appreciate it. Like I said, this has been the first video I've made in 2 years. First time being in front of the camera, so hopefully I haven't scared too many people. Hopefully it's been entertaining enough. Like I said, I'm just a dude learning how to do stuff. So next on the list, I don't know what next on the list is going to be, but we'll figure that out. Otherwise, I'd appreciate if you'd share it, share the video with your mates, give it a like or something like that. I don't know how this works. Apparently it's good for an algorithm. But other than that, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't know what I'm doing. Probably do another one, I don't know, whenever I get time to work on this again. Catch you later. Peace out. Welcome back. It's been a couple of years since I've uploaded anything to the channel. Since the... Ow. Moved over here for the I can't get out of here. I'll film the rest of the intro in here, I guess. Yeah. Ow. There's a screw in my butt. Oh. I wonder how many people are actually going to watch this.